twins was little. I guess they was just about 2 or 3 years old.
And that was Vera and
Vernon, the twins. So.
And how old were you?
I was 10. So I don't know where Beulah was, but anyway, I got them in the wagon. The men were putting up hay, and I pulled them down, started down the east road, down, going east, and I fell. And I hadn't been sick or nothing at all. And so mother saw me, or the kids yelled or something anyway. She come and run and got me, and I couldn't walk or nothing. And I don't know who, I think the men come and carried me to the house. But anyway, she called Dr. Heppner from Greenridge out there, and he come out. And he said my appendix were broken, and that I could not stand a trip to Sedalia. So they called in Sedalia, and Dr. Shy, a surgeon, and a nurse came, and they operated on me on the kitchen table. And 2 of my aunts come, Aunt Ethel and Aunt Lucy come to be with me. And I can remember going on that kitchen table, and of course then they give me anesthetic. And I don't remember for 2 or 3 days, but then I wasn't out of nothing but ice cream and milk. And when the postmaster come out, he would bring ice cream to me we just lived 4 miles from town, he'd bring ice cream to me. Then I had milk. Well, I laid there. And then I got so I could cut out paper dolls, and things like that. And so one day the doctor come every day to dress my side. I had 3 tubes in my side. That was September. And so one day he come to dress my side, and I had the scissors in the bed, and I was going to cut out paper dolls, and I wanted to see what he was doing, and I just take them scissors, and I cut a great big hole in the sheet. They had it up where I couldn't see, and I cut a big hole in the sheet so I could see him dress my side.
What happened?
And, well, nothing. Mother just had to patch the sheet. But at Christmas time, they were still turning me on a sheet in bed. 4 months. I never went to school a day that year in my life. That's how bad,
Was that 4th grade, Opie?
Huh?
That was
Was that fourth
just a
grade?
fall.
I don't remember. I was 10 years old in October. I was 9, then I was in 10.
It's your own age.
Going in 4th or
It's your own age, guys.
girls, let me explain something else. Nowadays, if your appendix were to rupture and you went into the hospital, they would perform surgery just like they did on Opie on the kitchen table. But they do it in an operating room, and you'd be home.
Yes.
You would be home, probably back at school in 5 days.
That's right. But then when they're bursted and gangrene set in,
Yeah, now that
well,
makes it 7.
they didn't think I would ever pull through it at all.
Opie, can you remember being scared that you might die?
Huh?
Can you remember being afraid that you might die?
Oh, no, I don't think I did. Only I had those 3 tubes, and that's the reason that scar is so bad now. That they had the 3 tubes in there after Christmas. And then after that, I was just, I lost out anyway, so they never let me go to school. And then after that, then my health all come back, and then I was all right. But I was telling the kids, when we was going to school, well, when nearly every time we got home from school, Mother would have hot bread for us. And then we would get to eat it. Most generally, we had apple butter, And then when we got our bread, then we had to go pick up chopped cobs and chips to build fires with the next morning, We had to go do that. And then we got lessons, lessons.
Chips of what?
Chips,
Cow chips?
Yeah, no. when they cut wood,
Wood chips.
the chips that they, to start the fire with. And so then we get our lessons, and then we played dominoes and checkers or rooks. We had no television. We have no radio.
what kind of lessons do you
Lessons? Well, we just reading and writing and stuff, just like you like.
You sure didn't have a Nintendo, did you?
No, we didn't have nothing. Then I've forgotten what year my sister taught school. So
Arvella.
they hired her to teach our home school. Well, here she had 2 brothers and a sister. Beulah wasn't old enough for school then, I don't think. We went to school to her. She showed no partiality. And then is when big boys, went to school and they get in trouble, and she'd go out and get switches, and those boys would do something to torment her. I can remember her whipping boys. I can remember it just as well. Now they don't allow anybody to do that. But they used to whip them with whips. But they're not allowed to do that now.
John Michael, would you like your big sisters to be your teacher when you grow up?
What?
Would you?
Yeah,
Opie
Daddy
said her
had-
big sister was her teacher.
Daddy had her aunt. What's her
My great aunt Polly.
Was it?
Yeah.
You know, when Papa Ron and Papa Dean said, "What are you gonna get for Christmas?" and I say, "A bundle of switches." That's the kind of switches they were talking about. Go out and cut a limb off a tree and spank you with it.
So Opie, the oldest brother is Ernest,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then Earl.
Mm-hmm. And then Arbella was the oldest.
Oh, that's right.
She was born in 1901.
Okay. And then
Then Ernest was born in 1903. There's between 3 and 4 years in difference in all of us.
and then
And
Earl.
the name of your family was the Gregories,
Gregory.
right? Before
But
you
my
got
mother,
married.
my mother was a Craig.
Craig.
But my grandfather Gregory come over from England with Grandma Gregory, and her name was Lambert. Her name was Lambert, Lambert, and then they come into New York, and then they come to Sedalia, Missouri, and then they come to Greenridge.
Do you know what drew him to Sedalia?
Huh?
What drew him to Sedalia?
No, I don't know.
And what year would you say that was?
Oh my, I don't know. My dad, I don't know. I don't
Was your
even know
dad
what-
a young boy? Was
I
your
don't,
dad born yet?
I don't know either the year my dad was born in.
Would have
But-
been the mid-1800s, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, because
Early to mid-1800s.
my dad died, let's see, I don't know, it was 18 something. My dad, I don't know. But anyway, my dad was the oldest. Then it was Uncle Harry and Uncle Herb and Aunt Clara. And then grandmother gave birth to little twin girls, Laura and Lena. And they all three died right then. They had the flu. She did, and the twins died. So they're buried at Greenridge right now. Didn't I ever show you where
Uh-huh.
they're buried at Greenridge?
So,
Now, I don't know what their middle names was.
so in twins, your grandma had twins. Your dad had twins.
Yes, and then on mother's side, she had a sister to have twins, and several of the
That's where
nieces
the
had twins.
twins come.
Yeah, maybe that's where you guys.
And then on the Brown side, Uncle Allen, Ronald remembers him, Mr. Brown's brother had twin boys.
Oh my.
And they're buried down there at the cemetery where
Were they identical? Do you remember?
Ronald's grandpa and grandpa are buried.
Grandma, are they identical or not identical?
I don't know, honey. I don't know. I think they died at birth, just like the
Oh,
other little
really?
twins did.
That wasn't uncommon for twins to die, was it?
No, huh?
Because
Well,
there's a little.
And then,
Delivering a baby was a little different back then. Isn't it?
oh yeah, and then grandfather Gregory went back to New York in 2 or 3 years and married grandma's sister. And that's
Because
all
she
we
died,
ever,
right?
that's all we ever knew was, and when you go to my grandmother Gregory's, she always served tea, and she had her little white aprons on, I can remember it so well.
From England? She was from England, is that why you
Yeah.
said she served tea?
And then as long as our Bella lived, we had cousins in England that sent little pretty aprons and little tea bags, and little smelly things and handkerchiefs.
So we
And then
probably,
one time, they sent a whole barrel of stuff. And they sent Beulah a doll and me a doll. And I never did know where my doll ever went.
so we may still have some relatives in England.
I'm sure we have. At London. Arbella always wanted to go over there. I don't know why she didn't go. She taught school 20 years in Kansas City. And she had the money, but she never did go. But she kept in contact with them.
Would
Not
you like
yet.
to go?
Huh?
Would you like to go?
No. But I know there'd be relatives there.
Do
But
you
it ain't
know
my
of
great.
any that are still alive?
But there's twins just all over on all sides,
That's
Well, tell us about when Papa Ron was born. He
Yeah.
wasn't born in a hospital, was he?
Tell us about when you found out you were pregnant with him and
Oh.
you tried for a long time. And
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was bad times then. You didn't have money, and so,
How long had you been married to Grandpa?
huh?
How long?
We'd been married 4 years, and
So you didn't have to get married?
we was married 4 years. And so, Dr. Pear was the doctor, and we lived at Leeton, and we.
And you know what is really funny about that?
And,
That's the same name as John's doctor that delivered him was Dr. Pear.
oh, well, and then, Norval said, well, he didn't know how we'd ever gonna get it paid for. I mean, it was hard times. See, the Depression hit in 29. And then that was 3 or 4 years later. So Norval, well, I think old Dr. Pear said one day we was in there, he said, Brownie, if you bring me a load of wood for $25, I'll deliver that baby. So Norval cut the wood and delivered it to him. We lived at Leeton then, and we moved at Warrensburg to a modern home. We even had running water in that house. We had to pump a tank in the basement, you know, to get the tank full.
With a hand pump?
Yeah. So we just, then when time for Ronald to be born, it was in the spring, you know, 24th of May, and they called back down to Leeton, and he come with a nurse. And Ronald was born at 24.
Where?
At Warrensburg, and the house still lives. I think
He was
Ronald,
born in your house though, right?
huh?
He was born in your house, right?
No,
Was Grandpa there?
nobody went to the hospital then.
Yeah, so was Grandpa, was he in the room or did he wait outside or?
No, they didn't have all this anesthetic and stuff then. It was kind of hard.
It was too hard on the men to stay in.
So we just lived there a year, and we moved to Leeton and lived too, and then we moved to the Pold place, lived there 10 years.
Was it
And
hard?
that was all through the depressions, the dry years, 34, 33, and all that.
Okay.
Well, explain to us what the dry years meant. There wasn't any
There
crops.
wasn't any moisture, was no rain, there was no crops.
Had a drought then.
Droughts all through there, all through that, all the way from 29 plumb on up.
And this is in
Well,
Oklahoma?
what did you do to make a living?
Well, then when we moved to Clinton, we had turkeys. And see, Mr. and Ms. Brown moved with us. And so we had turkeys, we had a lot of eggs, and we had no chickens. We had chickens, but we couldn't get them set. So one of the neighbors, Miss Floyd Sperry, had a hatchery. So we went over there one Saturday and asked her if she would set these eggs for us. And she said, yes, she would. And she said, well, somebody told them that Ms. Brown might take care of Ronald if I would work. And she said, if you'll come and help me some, I'll set the eggs. And we have a lot of turkey eggs, a whole lot of them. So then she said, that was Saturday. She said, can you help me tomorrow? I've got a hatch of chickens coming off. And we always went to Sunday school and church. I don't care how poor we was, we went to Sunday school and church. And I said, yes, I'll help you. So I went over there. And it was just across the field, and we had horses. And I rode a horse over there. And I helped her, and then I kept on working for $1 a day. And that helped out everything. And then finally, then after I'd been there, I'd worked there 10 years. Ronald had a little pony. And he rode, I guess it was 2.5 or 3 miles to school. He never was late a time. And rode that little pony all that way to school.
And what was the pony's name? I remember.
Dottie.
Well, where did
And Fuzzy, he had a dog named Fuzzy.
Well, where did he put his horse? I mean, pony?
There was a neighbor lived right by the schoolhouse, and he left the little pony in the barn. Then he walked across to the school.
That's neat. I wish we could do that, Mom. Ride our horses.
Then when we moved
No.
in, then after we got Bush Hatcher was advertising for help, and I got a lot better job then, and went to making more money, and then we moved in town 3 years, and then we bought the place in 1948.
What? Opie?
153 acres for $8,000 cash.
Opie?
You saved $8,000 working for $1 or $2 a day.
Opie?
Well, we'd been at Bush Hatchery, Norval, and I had, then when we went to Bush Hatchery, Norval went with me. And then we just sold, we still kept our cows, our Jersey cows. We still kept them. Of course, Ms. Brown had died, see. But then Ronald was up where he could help, with things, and I kept things going.
What about, when you worked for $1 a day, was that like a good job? I mean,
Well, honey, it was
that, like,
then. A lot of people worked for 50 cents a day, honey. A lot of people didn't work but get 50 cents.
Well,
So
you had,
that's a pretty good job.
Yeah,
What did Grandma do
but
over
she
there?
had 5, this woman had 5 kids.
Oh.
But
Did
when
you
I
have-
get through helping her in the hatchery, then I'd go in the house and milk her.
If you had Jersey cows, you must have milked.
Well, then Norval and Mr. Brown milked, and then after we moved to town, we kept hogs in town, and we kept the cattle. Then we still had Jerseys when we moved to the farm, and we still milked.
I remember.
So tell the girls what it was like to have to milk cows.
Oh my Lord, you had to get up real early in the morning, and then you had milk stews.
About what time?
Oh
Yeah,
my,
about
well,
4.
when we both worked, we got up awful early. And then we got to separate it. We had to separate it, and we separated the milk, and the cream went out one spout, and the milk out the other spout. Then we fed that to the hogs.
What about
What, the cream or the milk?
The milk.
why did you have to get up at 4 o'clock and look at
Well, so we could go on to work.
But see, the milk, the cows make the milk.
They have to
be milked.
You have to milk
Otherwise,
the cows
they're
night
paying
and
it out.
morning. You have to milk the cows night and morning.
7 days a week. No
7
You
days.
time
never
off.
take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get up like 4 o'clock, and then they had to
how many
feed.
cows again?
And I think when Ronald went to Korea in 1950,
Why did you go to
4.
Korea?
we still was milking cows. We,
Grandpa had milk cows when I was little.
huh?
Grandpa had milk cows when I was little.
We still had milk cows.
You did, I don't know how many.
Well, that could have been
I
what,
can remember,
58 to 60?
Why did
I can
Yeah.
remember how he used to sport us and
Yeah.
he let us.
And then it got hard for us, and then we went to registered shorthorns.
So
And then-
what? How many head were you milking every morning?
Oh, well, sometime we had 24 head. I can remember a lot of times milking 24 head.
And it'd take 15 minutes to milk a cow?
Well, something like that, but I like the milk. And then too, we had saddle horses all the time, see? We had American saddle horses.
With 2
Cindy
people,
can
it'd
remember
take-
them.
Yeah, I remember those. I got to ride.
I remember Grandma milking the cows.
Mhm. And we had black hogs, Berkshire hogs. But we had saved.
How much did you get for the cream milk? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know. We done pretty good with that. That's how. Then we saved money from that after we got on our feet, you know. But old dry years, then it was back in WPA times, you know. Oh, it was terrible.
What's WPA mean?
Well, that was a thing that the state paid for people to work, you know.
So, how many years did Dad's grandma and grandpa live with you?
Oh, let's see. I don't know how many years. Several years.
How come they lived with you, Grandma?
Well, it was just, she had tuberculosis, Ronald's grandmother did, and she was in Mount Vernon for a while. Then she come back home, and I tried to work some while she was still living.
So tuberculosis, was that contagious?
Well, I always kept Ronald away from her, you know, kept her room by herself. So, you know, if we was afraid that might be. But see, she died in 40, I think she died in 42. And then, see, Mr. Brown died while Ronald was in Korea
Oh, really?
with heart attack.
And that was sudden?
Uh-huh.
So how old was he, do you remember?
I've got all the
You think he was
obituaries.
60s or 70s?
Oh, no, he was in his 70s.
He was
No.
in his 70s?
What was his
John.
name?
John Woodard. His mother's name was Woodard. Very prominent people in Windsor, very prominent people.
John W. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So he died about like 3 years before we were.
Oh, no. He died when my dad was in Korea. I wasn't born yet. So he couldn't be born without me being born.
But see, Ronald's grandmother, her name was Garl. And they lived at Windsor. They were all
In
very
other words,
prominent people.
John Brown married Kitty Garl.
Garl. But honey, I've got all that obituaries and everything there at home in Bibles and stuff, you know. But Ronald never seems like he's interested in all that family tree stuff or nothing, you know.
So how many brothers and sisters did John have, do you know?
He had Uncle Alan and Orby and a sister. And I forgot what her name was.
And then Grandpa just had one brother.
You mean
My
Ronald's grandpa?
No, my grandpa.
Yeah, Parks, uh-huh. Now, he's supposed to come down Memorial Day and be there on Sunday when Ronald and Sue Ann are there.
Opie, why did Papa go to Korea?
Well, honey, he was drafted in the service.
What do you mean service?
Huh?
What service?
There was a war going on.
The
and there
Korean
was a
War.
draft, and they
The
made
Korea-
all the boys
See,
who are serving.
when he graduated out of high school in 1951, that summer, I don't know what he did. Probably worked at Bush Hatchery with us. I think he worked at Bush Hatchery with us. Then he went to college all that year in Lawrenceburg. And so when he come home in May, well, he'd just been home one day, and Mr. Llewellyn from the Missouri Public Service called down to the hatchery or come by and wanted to know what Ronald was going to do. And I said, well, the service is going to get him sometime, and I don't think he's going to go back to school, but we wanted him to. And he said, I've got a man out at the plant that's going to have surgery, and I need somebody to work, a maintenance man. And so I said, well, he's out at the farm, because Norval and I was working at the hatchery. and he went out there, and Mr. Llewellyn told him, so Ronald went right to work. And then
Who was
Raymond
that for?
Carter,
What was the company?
huh?
What was the company?
Missouri Public Service. And Raymond Carter, a friend of Ronald's, told Mr. Scroggins about Ronald. So he went to work, and I don't think he was supposed to do anything but clean the hall or empty waste paper baskets, maintenance man. Well, he was just there a very few days till they hired him out on the line. And that was in the summertime, and then they were sure the service was going to get him. But I think he worked that winter for Missouri Public Service, and then in the spring, they drafted him, see. And then there was about 6 or 7 of the boys that graduated when Ronald did in 51 that went.
Oh, did they get all stationed together?
No, Ronald was the only one that went. Well, Keith Henry went to Korea before Ronald did. But he enlisted. But Ronald and Jim Price and that other bunch. But Ronald went to Korea.
How long did he
And he went to Korea in the fall of 54.
How long
Yeah,
did he stay
54. No, 53. And he was over there from October. He was over there 2 Christmases.
there? Oh, no.
And he was already going with Grandma Sue, Mama Sue,
What,
before he went over there.
That's like about a year.
Huh? No, he was over there over a year, honey.
But was he overseas that long, or was he just in the?
No, he was overseas from October, the next October till the next May. And then he'd come back, and then he went right to work for Missouri Public Service.
What was that like, Grandma, having your son go overseas?
Well, you just think what you would think of having a son over in Korea.
Pulling the dump.
And Norval always sang. When he went to the barn to milk a cow, he sang the whole time. But we'd taken Ronald and Sue Ann to the airport. When Ronald left that night, we went to the American Royal, and we went on to the airport.
To the airport or training station?
No, airport in Kansas City. That's when he was flying to California to board the ship to go to Korea. And I've got that ship and all that stuff in my bank box, the day he left and everything. And that next day, in the morning, we went to the barn to milk, and Norval never sang another time. Never sang another time.
Wow,
And when we worked at Bush Hatchery, there was a acre of ground under one roof. And of a morning, when we go to work, Norval would be back down in there cleaning, up and everything. And the girls in the office and Mr. Bush would stand at that door and listen to Norval sing Life's Railway to Heaven. Sing it every morning, down through that, and they all listened at him.
Well, that's one of the
Norval
songs.
could sing. Cindy knew that Norval could sing, didn't he? Couldn't he, Cindy?
Oh, yeah, we sang anytime we got in the car.
That's one of my favorite songs. I didn't know that.
Life's Railway. And in the garden, there's another. He always sang that too.
And he used to sing, "We Ain't Got a Barrel of Money." And we used to sing, "He Ain't Got a Barrel of Money." That's what we'd always sing when we got. And "You Are My Sunshine."
But then when we both quit Bush Hatchery, he went to telephone company, and I went to Unitom.
And how many years did you work there?
Huh?
How many?
I worked 17 years at Unitom, and then he had a stroke, and then he had to quit work. Anyway.
My grandpa.
But
Okay.
the boys that Norval worked with are all retiring now.
Bedtime, girls. We'll listen to more stories tomorrow, okay? My grandpa.
Well, our crazy children. There's Amanda. Went and played in the dough while Opie was making rolls, and now they got dough all over them, and they decided to clean off by taking a stroll. Where'd they go? Taking a little jog in the rain in their bathing suits. Everybody wave when you go by. We're all getting ready to go to the ball game.
Oh, that's right. That's the Indian. That's my cousin. Oh,
Hey, Kim and Mom, how about a smile? And one from Opie.
Here, Amanda. This is my sister's baby. Oh.
Dean.
Oh, poor Dean.
There's mine.
I'm being filmed. If
Yeah,
you'll
which
not
one's
get
no
my-
good?
You're not getting my head in it?
That's all. I'm a celebrity. Work.
No, I'll have to be asking Cindy all about it.
Okay. Now we're gonna look at our brownies. This is their big graduation day from Brownies. With their coats and their vests with all their badges. I see a little runway spin there, Kelly. Yeah, our 9-year-old girls are moving up to juniors now. Flying up, not moving up. Moving up is for the old-fashioned folks. They're on their way ready to school, but we thought we ought to have a chance to see their pretty badges. Opie sewed every one of those patches on this weekend. Opie and Mommy. How many in the...
You've earned 30. Girls, you need to hurry home today, so you start Tuesday.
30 events, or 30 badges that they earned in the front and 19 events in the back. All in what, 2 years? 3 years. And we're real proud of our Girl Scouts.
We used to be a Pixie, and then we were L, and now we're a Sprite.
A Sprite?
Yeah,
You sure are. Okay.
Lucky.
Wave bye-bye.
It says happy birthday, Lucky.
No, that's their birthday.
Mimi and Papa.
I'm gonna try this.
Good side.
Having our traditional Bull Shoals Lake birthday party.
Actually, what I usually wear, but
Well, I thought they'd give you a little leeway.
Take it away. No.
it's birthday.
Johnny. Oh, those are rocks so pretty, girl.
Mom, I don't got anything on me.
No, your birthday's in February.
Mom, that ain't anything.
Anthony, Don, come here, honey. Come here. I bought the Zappet gun for you.
See, Parksy just had a birthday, and so did Johnny. They're all having birthdays.
But I just bought you a Zappet gun for fun.
Diller time.
Aww.
Mama.
Oh, so cute.
Caleb, look what you get to grow into.
Kaylin, look, we got Kaylin there.
Yeah, Caitlin. Caitlin, you should be the
Hold up your seat.
At the show.
Oh, look at the ruffle on your shoulders,
Party
baby.
time.
How cute.
It was not.
Momo's gonna miss the party. Tell him to come to the party.
You know, they were just saying,
See what he bought.
Caitlin, look, these are clothes you're gonna grow into, and we should be doing the same with
I didn't realize they had
Remember I said
Mama,
Had to be. Thanks for all that
sit
stuff.
Oh, it's Mom, you
You're ready. You're ready.
No, it's not your birthday.
Oh, boy. Put it on. Put it on. About it.
Kelly, that dress is like baby.
I did. All right.
Well, you got this.
You took care of it. Hey, Johnny. Hi. Just
This one.
John, come here a minute. Come here a minute. Come here.
Y'all need to go to the bathroom.
Harry couldn't make it, huh? He's beat. He's a big guy.
Who's that from, Kate?
Her mama's new.
We're sorry.
Bubbles up down there, though. All that?
Holy.
You got that for her birthday?
Oh, look at mine.
Oh, Chip, look.
Beautiful.
Kelly.
Wow, put it on, put it on. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Here. Did John and Linda give you that?
Oh my.
Oh my lady.
Put it on.
Dot, dot, dot. I like that.
Put it on, dotty, dot, dot, dot,
Who's
dot,
this
dot.
one, Carol? Kelly.
They're gonna be the best dressed girls in town.
And this is
Mom, see, look.
Kelly.
Mama, see.
This is Kelly.
Mama, see.
They'll make him walk. It's 6, 7 miles down here.
Where's that from?
Oh, they don't, boy,
Purple.
EPA and DNR, and they still get fined. A heck of a lot.
Mom.
They said they had to go to the hospital before they went in.
Isn't that right?
Who they from?
Have they seen them? They've got the bars of the cabbage patch. Let's see you do the hula in that, babe.
Melinda, where did you find something so cute?
Oh, polka dot.
Oh, Milky. Where'd you find something? Mine did.
I said, yeah.
Hardly on those
They
yet.
sure do. Oh, it's not.
I got blue. Yes.
They've always had double of everything.
No, they wasn't play. They took cards. Yeah, they were hoping they got some cards.
Okay, here's,
You
and
didn't
these
bring-
are
you didn't
Lego
bring a
cards,
camera.
right? Okay, Parks, you want to open this?
Hey, Red.
Thank you, Mom.
Hey.
Here. You take that. No, this is both of us. Come on, that's yours. I had mine. Put it there. You.
You run down to my room.
No, you play. You play. Mom,
I think that's where it is. Look, it's just running. I know it's not in the drawer or anything.
Yes, thank you very much, Mom.
You write me letters.
This is for him.
Oh, you write us letters from Pam?
Every day.
Will you write me?
Okay, Kitty, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Girls, will you write me?
Can I have their address? You guys can write to the camp.
Katie's camera. My camera.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Every day.
Oh, I sure do. Pam,
This is so cute.
Hold it up, Cal. Those are batteries for the flash.
Don't lose your batteries because you'll need them for
It's the same brand.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well,
Do they have one more gift?
Caitlin, step back out of the way.
Just a minute, she's getting some sand.
Okay.
Oh my God! The person who asked is ready for fun. Oh, you, right? Oh my goodness!
Try 'em on.
Yes, I saw you.
Oh, boy.
Parks is telling you, you got those for you. Listen to Parks.
Girls, look over here. Hey.
Say yes, he gave a big.
Hey, Debbie.
Can you move that camera back over? Green one?
Hey, Parksy.
Scoot it over a little bit. And then there's a koozie down between the seats. Could you get it?
Brianna.
Okay, you ready now, John? Cindy wants to sit back here and videotape.
Dad. Melinda. Wait, just stop. Let's get everybody. Mom and Dad getting in their little seats.
Teddy, are you okay?
Harry!
The girl's had a crash. Her head was pretty bad.
What she hit it on?
Chip!
Boy, this is a day. Sorry.
Hey, Caitlin Lou!
Sorry.
Mommy does too.
No, he's getting on too, I think. Hey, Parksy, can you wave? Hi, Parksy. Hey, Kelly. Kelly and Katie had a crash and Katie's a little upset. Hey, Tiffany.
Yep.
Come here and wave. Hey, Tiff. And Julie from Oregon. She doesn't have a face. She only has a ponytail.
Well, you get her legs, they look pretty
And there's a lasso thrower.
I popped Mommy in the head today. I'm sorry.
That's all
Gotta feel
right.
my breathing. I'm using my breathing.
Cindy,
And here's Aunt Sally.
move your left hand.
I don't look good at first.
And there's my little, oh, I'm sorry, I'll go erase over that.
Start it off this way.
Every time they put me on TV, I like that, double chin.
Hey, John Michael. John Michael. Are you about ready? You're ready, huh? He's been ready for a while. And there's Aunt Debbie. Hey, everybody's getting ready.
Oh, get it on John.
We're going to meet the Leslies at the cliffs. They're arriving today from a Branson trip.
John Michael, what's he popping up?
And there's Johnny. He's our entertainment for this week.
Yay, Johnny!
Turn that boat around a little bit. Okay, I think we're ready.
Hold on tight, everybody.
Here goes little John. He's a hoot. Mm-hmm.
Ready, Mom?
Yep. You saying okay?
Hurry up and get John Michael. Here comes the big wave.
John Michael, 5 years old. It's been a big year for him. There's Debbie and Chip back there in the very back. We pretty much have the whole cove to ourselves. I think we're down in Jimmy Creek. Well, here's one last look at little John. Well, as you can see, now you can probably tell why we think he's the best little boy in the whole wide world. buddy. Hey, Mike. What do you think about your son skiing so good?
Great.
Got Tiffany and Julie up front. What do you think, Katie? We got Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally! What do you think about John Michael skiing? Okay.
How was it?
Good. Guess what? The only thing I don't like about this is my feet. They go so hard on the bottom right.
Is that right?
Maybe it's because you've gone about 10 miles today.
Give me a hint.
Here, tell the camera about skiing, John.
Tell
And
the camera what you like about skiing, John. Talk to the camera and tell it what you think about skiing.
That I can go over the waves, but
You can go over the waves good.
is it really fun going over the waves?
yeah,
What else do you like?
I can get
How come you never get tired?
because I don't want to stop.
Is it because you've been eating healthy, maybe?
I don't want to stop. That's why.
Can the girls keep up with you if they're in the mood too?
I got some pretty good pictures of you. Did you see me taking pictures? Come on up here, John. I want to ask you a question. Look at me, JJ. For people that are watching this video that don't know how to ski, can you tell them how to do it?
What's the 3 most important things?
Knees, bend, arms straight, and feet together.
Right, so tell them how to do it, okay?
I do that when I station it when I want to go. When I go, I push myself up.
Oh, and then what happens?
When I go to the wind, I have to go a little fast. Because then I don't have that much to go. So I have to have a lot of power to go. See, when they have that, they have 2 big waves, so I can go over.